Hello everyone. Welcome to Point of View. Today, I want to talk about what will happen if Donald Trump is elected again. It is an interesting topic, which brings us to the two articles. One by David Frum and other by Paul Wells of Macleans magazine. What if Donald Trump wins again? First term Trump was lazy, gullible, ignorant, vain and crooked. Second term Trump would be worse. If everyone eligible to vote is allowed to vote, if every vote legally cast is counted, then Trump is doomed. His only hope is to find some way to stop the voting, stop the count, and then rely on the weird mechanics of the US Electoral College to save him against the people's vote. Barton Gellman reported in The Atlantic in September that the Trump team is working with officials in Republican-held states to set aside vote counts altogether and instead authorize state legislatures to choose the state's electors. If this scheme proves unfeasible, the Trump team has in mind a series of smaller finagles, arbitrarily stopping vote counts prematurely, rejecting, or outright seizing, mailed ballots, and many other forms of chicanery not seen in US politics since the aftermath of the Civil War. What if Donald Trump loses? The job of a President Joe Biden would be leading the cleanup crew after a vandal. At stake, the entire American project. So maybe a defeated Donald Trump will embrace his fate with grace, sing odes to the democratic process, and order his staff to ensure Joe Biden's presidency starts on the right foot. A president who's already been impeached for using state powers to pursue partisan ends could do a lot more of that. A Supreme Court, with 3 Trump-nominated justices, could be called on to arbitrate the election result. And, of course, things could get far worse. Maybe somebody will take seriously the words of Michael Caputo, the Trump campaign staffer, who somehow managed to become Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs at Health and Human Services during a lethal pandemic. In September, Caputo told a Facebook live chat that there are hit squads being trained all over this country to prevent a second Trump term. You understand that they're going to have to kill me. Unfortunately, I think that's where this is going. A paranoid rant says a lot about where Trumpism is headed. A bizarre video, posted by Michael Caputo, may be a sign of things to come, says David A. Graham, staff writer at The Atlantic. Caputo is the top spokesperson at the Department of Health and Human Services, which is a job in which you're supposed to shape the news, not make it. But Caputo has had a busy few days. On Friday, Politico broke the news that Caputo had been interfering with scientific reports about COVID-19 from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Then on Sunday, Caputo posted a bizarre, paranoid video on Facebook claiming he might be assassinated by seditious forces. What a second Trump term would mean for the world. Think of his re-election as a pincer movement, an attack on the international order from two sides. Thomas Wright is a contributing writer at The Atlantic, a senior fellow at the Brookings Institution, and the author of All Measures Short of War: The Contest for the 21st Century and the Future of American Power. If Donald Trump defies the odds and wins a second term, the next 4 years will likely be more disruptive to US foreign policy and world affairs than the past 4 have been. Think of his re-election as a pincer movement, an attack on the international order from two sides. Trump will consolidate his control over the institutions of government, bending them to his will, removing any lingering resistance from the Republican Party. Meanwhile, by confirming that the United States has rejected its traditional leadership role, a second Trump term would make a lasting impact on the world right when it is at a particularly vulnerable moment. US alliances would likely crumble, the global economy would close, and democracy and human rights would be in rapid retreat. The US is now teetering on another historically important moment. With Trump, we would not only be deprived of our Truman, we would be saddled with our Wallace, a leader whose instincts and actions are diametrically opposed to what the moment requires. With few remaining constraints and a vulnerable world, a re-elected Trump could set the trajectory of world affairs for decades to come. We have come to the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Kindly subscribe to get the latest.